Hey, what's up, everybody? And if you're just jumping on, welcome to the channel. I'm glad to have you here. I'm excited that you're on this journey of mastering the money game with us. I encourage you, first things first, if this is your first video you watching and you get some value out of this thing, what I want you to do is hit the subscribe button. I want you to be active in the community, make some comments, but I also want you to share this, right? Because we the biggest thing that we do, one of the biggest things I find in this world is we go out here and we find value. We may listen to somebody's YouTube video or maybe it's something on social media or a person we follow, and we get value out of it, and we wanna keep it to ourselves, right? We wanna hold that in to ourselves. But no, that's not what all these platforms are all about. What it's about is we got to go out here. When we get some value, we got to spread the word. We got to share it. So I want y'all to share it with other people so they can get some value out of this too, and we can all grow together, right? But you saw the title, so you know why you're here. So, one of the primary reasons that I push the things that I push, the platforms that I push about financial literacy, about mastering the money game, about mastering credit, about everything that I push, changing your mindset overall, the reason I push what I push is because, I done got older now. As you can see, I got some gray in my beard. I've been through some things. I've worked in the corporate world. I've had several different businesses. Some worked, some didn't. I've experienced, I've got a family. I've experienced a lot of things in life, and now I've got a little more wisdom right now where I can open up my eyes and start to see things, that I may not have been able to see at points in time in my past life. So in earlier parts of my life, I won't say past life, in earlier parts of my life. So, I just want you to, so for me at this point, as my eyes are opening and as I'm seeing different things, and this is a kind of an awakening that I've been going through with myself, for a long period of time. As I'm starting to open my eyes to these things, I'm just sharing it with the world so that maybe it will tweak you to, maybe get a little more curious about certain things that are going on. So for me, I woke up, and I've been, like I said, I do a lot of reading. I listen to other people, on YouTube and other platforms and on social media, and follow a lot of different things. And you just start to put the pieces of the puzzle together about what's really going on out here in this thing called life, right? In this system that we have to work in and deal with. What I've really discovered is everything, for the most part, about everything, I say 99% of what we are taught is all a lie. It's all BS. It's all, I won't even call it BS. It all has an intention to make us move in a certain way, right? It's an intention to train us to move in a certain way. You got to think about it. Think about your educational system, right? From the whole time that you started school up through, graduating high school and going to college and whatever other levels of education you went to, you got to think about what the purpose, the true purpose of that education was, right? What was the true purpose? You have to think about it. They were training you and ingraining you to plug into the system and feed the system, right? They wanted you to feed the system. They wanted you to go out and get jobs. They wanted you to go out and pay taxes. They wanted you to go out and do the things that it takes. They want the majority to do the things that it takes to feed this system that we live in, this whole ecosystem that we live in of everything that's involved in our daily lives, right? So you gotta, you think about the cues that were put in your head, even everything from, the structure of the classroom and the bells telling you when it's time to get up and leave and go to the next class. It's all programming that has been put in your brain since the time you were a baby on up till now, that has you thinking in a certain way, thinking and operating in a way that again is going to feed the system that we live within, right? So you have to ask yourself the question, if they're doing that, it must be for a reason, right? Why would they want to plug me into this system to continue feeding it? And there's several reasons, and I can go into all that, and maybe I will in another video. But at the end of the day is really all about control, right? Because as long as you're plugged into this system, as long as you're dealing with this particular structure, there is control over you and there's control over your life. There is no true freedom, right? So the only way to get to freedom is you have to be able to unlock your brain first, right? It starts with your mindset, how you look at things, how you see things. So you have to start thinking about, for example, just how the financial system works. Somebody had posted this morning about, things, as at this point in life, what are some things that you look back on and be like, man, that's a scam. And people started talking about things like, oh man, the tax system a scam, man. Oh, the educational system is a scam, right? Or they were naming some other things on there. I can't remember everything on there. They said the credit system, oh, that's a scam. That's a scam. So there's all these different things that we have to live within and work within. And we have to deal with it on a daily basis. It is the structure that we are bound by, being as human beings, especially living in this country, in the United States, right? So there's certain things and structures that we're bound by that we have to learn to work within. And people think it's a scam, right? That's the first word that comes to you is a scam. And typically, anytime somebody says something is a scam, is because not necessarily that it is a scam, because there are some scams out there, don't get me wrong. But in most cases, it's a scam because you just don't understand how it works and how you're supposed to work and thrive within it, right? You don't know the rules to the game. You don't understand how you as a player in the game are supposed to operate within it and thrive within it when you play by the rules and leverage the rules and leverage the resources and leverage the systems that are out there for you, right? So most people, they get comfortable. They sit there and they just say, look, I'm just going to do what I've been told to do. I'm going to go to school, get this education so I can go out and get a job. I'm going to work. I'm going to pay taxes. I'm going to go out and consume things. I'm going to buy things. I'm going to get a house that's dependent upon my income from my job. I'm going to get a car that's dependent upon income from my job. So now that I have these bills, I'm just going to stay in the system and continue doing what I'm doing so I can keep all of these things that I have went out and purchased, right? So when you think about the whole foundation and principle of what this country was set up on, it was set up for the majority to be consumers, right? There's a few select that are at the top, right? That are, the billionaires that we see out there, the big companies that they own and different things that we go out and support every day. There's a few of them that are at the top of the chain, right? But the majority of everybody else is feeding that chain by being consumers, right? We are, especially in this country, we are the biggest group of consumers that there are. We spend money like there's no tomorrow. We spend money that we don't even have. If you look at the credit crisis that's we're on the verge of right now, because we overspend. We go to work, we get our paychecks, and then we spend all that money, and then we go spend some more on some credit because we just got to have it, right? We the got to have it society. So we've been trained and ingrained to be consumers our entire lives, and basically to feed the system and not feed ourselves, right? We're so hesitant to invest in ourselves, to do things for ourselves, to put ourselves in better positions, but we have no problem going to spend on somebody else's dream, somebody else's vision, and put them in a better place, right? It's backwards when you think about it. So you got to start getting to a position where you recognize these things, when you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? Everything I taught was the wrong thing. It was the wrong way, right? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This is not the way it's supposed to be for me. This is not the way for me to thrive in the way that this system is set up. And then, once you got to start educating yourself and finding out how as a player in this game, what are the rules? How do I play in this game? How do I leverage the system? How do I make it work for me so that I can thrive? Like I said on that post, people were saying, oh, taxes are a scam, right? That's messed up. We got to pay all these taxes. Wait a minute. I see billionaires every day, like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And, we heard, Donald Trump, I don't think he's a billionaire, but, we hear him say all the time, I don't pay any taxes. Like, I don't pay taxes. I leverage the system so that I don't have to pay any taxes, right? So we have to recognize that, we can either continue moving forward knowing that, hey, this is the system, this is what it is, and I'm choosing to play the game in this way, where I'm going to work and be in the middle class and pay the majority of the taxes and do all the things and deal with all the things that come associated with that without complaining. Or B, I recognize it, I'm going to go out and get the skills and education that I need so I know how to properly leverage the system moving forward, so that I no longer have to play the game in that way. Now that I can play the game at a higher level, I get promoted in that game, right? Because now I've got the education and resources that I can go out and make some different things happen that I didn't even know were available to me because I didn't have the knowledge and education to get it. And what people have to realize is it's not going to be given to you easy, right? You're going to have to be willing to go out and dig and claw and research and uncover what is available to you. Because if they made it easy, then everybody would go out and do it, right? Everybody always looking for the easy button. That's always the thing for people. Man, I'm always looking for a shortcut. I'm always trying to find an easy way to get to where I'm trying to get to. And we know as human beings, nothing comes easy in life, right? If you don't believe it, try losing some weight. It's real, well, I'll change that. It's easy to put it on, but it's real hard to lose it once you put some weight on, right? Because nothing that's worth having is going to come to you in this life easy. There was nothing that said, when you were born into this world, that anything was going to be easy or that it was going to be handed to you. So you got to think about that as you're trying to navigate this system. This whole platform is about mastering the money game. That's our focus, right? But a lot of the principles and different things that I'm going to be talking about, that we're going to be talking about, because we're all learning this together, is about mastering this thing called life, because we have to be able to navigate in this system and deal with the structure that is around us and learn how to thrive in that structure so that we can win and get the things that we want in life, right? It's all about, when you think about as you're going through life, you're primarily focused on a few different things. You're focused on, being happy. You're focusing on self-preservation and being good, that your family is good. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to put yourself in a position where you can thrive and have all of those things without the stresses that we normally deal with on a daily basis? There are some people that have figured it out, and I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm just like you. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just at a point where my mindset is shifted enough where I'm ready to explore and figure out that there are some different ways to do what we've been doing, right? Like we can no longer blindly just accept what we've been taught and just go through life like that's the only way. Like that's one fault that I say in the educational system. They always teach you that there's only one way or one answer, one correct answer. And when you get out in real life, you find it's the farthest thing from the truth. There's so many different ways to make something happen. There's so many different answers to the problem. They may not get exactly the same result, but there's different answers to the problem that can still get you to where you're trying to get to in different ways, right? So we got to start approaching life in that way and start exploring how do we get ourselves in this game of life and learn how to master it to the best of our ability. So again, I'm just going to challenge everybody, man, like start questioning everything that you've been taught, man, because a lot of it is lie. A lot of it is a mess to control you. A lot of it is a mess to put you in a situation where you will always be feeding the system and never get in a position where the system is feeding you. So I just want you to think about that. But again, thank y'all for listening. I encourage you again, if you got value out of this, I want you to subscribe, share this. We're going to grow this thing. We're going to master this money game. We're going to master this thing called life. Again, just remember, it's all a game, and you're going to enjoy it a lot more when you know the rules and you know how to play and you know how to thrive in it. All right, I'll talk to you soon.